Hey, Starly here. In this video, I'm going to show you how I do my flats as quick as possible. The method I use is a subtraction method, and I actually set them up as selection layers rather than flat color layers. The reason I do this is because it will provide us with a path to make coloring much faster. I'm also going to be making a video on how you can quickly color the image, and I will leave a link here at the top when it's done. First, we'll need to select the entire character, and there are a few different ways of doing this. For the first method, you can use the lasso and polyline tools to select the character manually. But this is really tedious and slow, right? We want to do it faster. You can use the fill bucket tool, that is quick key G, and refer only to editing layer. But as you can see, it leaves a lot of unfilled areas. In this case, you can use the paint unfilled area tool. Make sure refer multiple is selected. Some areas it might not fill easily. This may work for you, but the fill underneath the line art is not good. If I turn the opacity down on the line art, you can see the fill is uneven and does not fill up to the center of the line art. It also might extend outside of the line art, and this will not look good in your final piece. Even with this method, it starts to become pretty tedious. It's also easy to miss areas if you're not careful. Another way we can do this quickly is with the fill tool. Select the fill tool or click G. Under subtool, select close and fill. Your settings in the tool property menu may look different from mine, so if you see anything missing, be sure to add it through the wrench icon menu. For this option, make sure refer multiple is selected, as well as the reference layer. Click on the line art layer and set it as the reference layer. Now click back onto your flat color layer and select around the entire character. It will automatically fill up with the color you have selected. You might have noticed though that some areas didn't fill up. This is because the gap in the line art is too large. You can turn up the close gap option and see if it works. As you can see, mine is already at its maximum, and it did not work. So if it still doesn't work, you can fill in the missing parts of your line art layer and then try it again. Then you can use the lasso tool to remove the areas that should be negative space. And click delete. That seems really fast and easy, but I actually don't prefer to use this method because of the drawback of it. As you can see here, my area scaling is only a 1. So it is very low, but it still fills up past the line art a little bit. So this isn't going to look good when we add a background, especially for high contrast areas. Like if you have a very light color character on a dark background, you're going to see this. So we can clearly see all that extra color here on the outside, and this does not look good. So I prefer this last method, and it will get us the best quality flat colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is fill in the areas of the line art where the gap was too big. I will go to the Auto Select tool. This is also called the Magic Wand tool, quick keys W. I will make sure Apply to Connected Pixels Only is selected. Here I have the area scaling set to 3, which this works well for me, but you may need to adjust it based on your style. I also have Refer Multiple selected, and Anti-Aliasing is turned off. And again, if you don't see any of these here, just go to the wrench icon and turn them on. Now you'll select the area outside of the character. You can zoom in to make sure it looks good. As you can see, it is selected in about the middle of the line art, which is what we are looking for. Also, make sure the selection mode is set to Add to Selection. And then you can select any of the negative spaces here. Down here, we also have the selection launcher. So if your selection launcher is not showing up, you can go to View, Selection Launcher. I also have mine customized, so it might look a little different from yours. And you can also customize this through Selection Launcher Settings. Click the Invert Selected Area option. It's also available at the top menu. If you are coloring a comic page, it will also select the other panels as well, so use the Marquee tool to deselect those areas. Make the selection mode Remove from Selection. You can also hold down the Alt key instead of clicking on the selection mode to deselect the areas. Now I will go to Select, Convert to Selection Layer. And as you can see, it has become this beautiful green color. This method is not perfect, so you'll still need to adjust it a bit. Usually this happens where the line art forms a sharp angle, such as these. Select the area and then just click Delete. This looks good, but say that there was an area that was missing some fill here. You can just select it with the Marquee tool. And then use the fill bucket to fill it in. I'll also need to repeat this for the character in every panel. So you can do these all at once, or you can click Transfer to Lower Layer to combine these two layers and then delete the extra one. So now it's all on one layer. Next, we'll need to separate each part onto its own selection layer. And this will start off tedious, but it gets less so as we move on. So double click on the layer thumbnail or the selection icon to select the layer. I'll start off with making the selection for the skin color. I'll go to the Marquee Tool and the Lasso tool, and I'll make sure the selection mode is set to Remove from Selection. Now that I have just the skin selected, I'll make it into its own selection layer just like I did before. So select, convert to selection layer. And I will name this new layer as skin so I can reference it for later. Now next, say I want to create the selection for the hair. I'll double click the full body layer to select it. And this is the most important step. Right click on the skin selection layer. Go to selection from layer, delete selection. Now the skin has been deselected, and now we can create the selection from the hair much faster. I don't have to deselect this area again, it's already been done. So each time you create a new selection layer, you will double click the full body layer and then right click each selection layer and delete the selection. So I recommend only doing these selection layers for large areas like the skin, the hair, and the clothes, anything else that has a lot of surface area to it. Say if your character has like a large weapon or something. For smaller areas such as the eyes, we don't need to worry about them because of the coloring method I'll be using. And I'll be going over my coloring method in another video, so you can color super fast with very little effort, and I will link it up here once I've uploaded it, so I recommend checking it out. And from here, you can use the selections to add your flat colors and then color however you'd like. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment and let me know if this works for you, if it was helpful or not, or if you found anything I might have missed.